Thank you for downloading the Wado Radio Podcast. If you love what you're hearing, leave a review on iTunes. We'd love to hear your feedback, and it helps expose others to the show. Thank you, and God bless.
This podcast is brought to you by Covenant Eyes. The internet can be a dangerous place for unguarded eyes and hearts. Covenant Eyes provides the services that protect against the evils and temptations that can be found on the World Wide Web. Visit wadoradio.com/resources for more information about our affiliate, Covenant Eyes.
And so I went back to work the next day, and I remember getting a message from this one guy named Cato, and he was like, "Yo, man, I saw you at the concert. I don't know how he found me, but he's, I saw you at the concert, bro. Let's link up." I said, "I bet." So we met up like the next day, and he said, "Yo, I want to bring you to some of my friends." I said, "All right, cool." This is like 2007.
Okay.
This is end of 2007, top of 2008, and we walk in, and I walk into the apartment, and it's KB and Second Chance.
Everybody lends an ear. I want to thank you in advance for letting us make it clear to y'all.
Yes, it's DJ Wado here with my brother Loso.
Yes, sir. What's up?
And you leaving me hanging right now, my brother.
Oh, my bad. Let's focus.
How you good, man?
You good, man?
I feel like this has been years in the making.
Yeah, man. We always talked about it, bro. And finally, we finally here, man.
Yeah, man. So how you feeling right now, bro?
I'm feeling good, bro. I'm feeling good. I'm in a good space, musically and obviously battle-wise. Recently just got married. You know what I'm saying? So that's always, that always helps out your ministry. But nonetheless, man, I'm doing well, bro.
You people are saying this battle you have coming up, biggest of your career.
Yeah, I always
feel that.
Yeah, I always feel that way. I think.
So you feel like every next battle is the biggest of your career?
It has been. It has been. And so this particular battle though, I just feel like in every battle rapper's career, I think they kind of always get to this one battle where it kind of like defines you. You know what I'm saying? Like you either the trajectory is gonna go up, or you know it
so you know that
or you might hit a plateau. Yeah, I know for this, and he knows that though.
Yeah.
And so and I think just the culture itself, they kind of know that this is kind of gonna have a residual effect after the battle is done. And so I'm looking forward to it, man.
Well, I think there's like a tension that exists just in America right now, even amongst black people, of Christians and black conscious, and then the two of y'all battling. Yeah. It's almost like foreshadowing of, you know what I mean, what's going on culturally right now.
Yeah, I always tell everybody too. So for me, I think the incorrect thing for a Christian to do is kind of like ignore that.
Sure.
Right? It's like, nah, you know, that's a lie. You got to stop blaming Jesus. But my thing is like, hey, I got no problem standing up and saying, hey, we're sorry.
Yeah.
Like European Christians historically were jerks. You know what I'm saying? Like they messed up. But that's not where it started at. And that wasn't the premise of Christianity. You know what I'm saying? So if we go ahead and take where it started at and showed how people of color, if anyone can relate to the scriptures, it's people of color.
Absolutely.
I think that'll go a long way. You know what I'm saying? So I think that kind of gets pushed to the backside, and we kind of just, you know, have this idea of American Christianity, which, trust me, the history is bad. You gotta apologize. And I tell everybody, man, you should never judge a system by its abuses.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like just because we did stuff wrong doesn't make the system wrong. Like, I mean, you're probably still gonna watch the Super Bowl, even though they did Kaepernick dirty. Even though Ray,
bro. I ain't been watching the league this year though.
Or prior to that, like Ray Rice could knock his wife out.
Sure.
And you know what I'm saying? And we still watching, you know, the Baltimore Ravens next week. So my thing is like, because we know how to separate the two, but for some reason with Christianity, we love to blame God, dog. So I can't wait to have that conversation, man.
Yeah. Do you feel the need to prepare differently for this one than you have all your other battles, because you know what this could mean for your career? You know what? I think for the battle rappers that, you know, associate themselves with the faith, I think the unique thing about us is that we're always using angles. Like you'll never just have a random punchline fest with somebody else. So I'm still preparing the same way, but obviously the content is different. You know what I'm saying? So my angle is always, I want to take your worldview and I want to go ahead and break it apart. Let me show its flaws, and then let me go ahead and come after and show you what is right. And so it's still the same pattern, but the content is going to be different, obviously, because he is very intellectual. He knows what he's talking about. And to the masses, they just lean towards his side. Like, they love him, bro. They love him. And I think it's not even so much that they love him as much as it is that they oppose
Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta think about it. We start talking about what we believe in, it slaps them in the face.
Yeah.
But what he talks about, they could be like, oh, that's cool, and they can still do whatever they want.
Right.
So yeah, the preparation is there. I have to go ahead and keep it twofold. I know that when I'm talking, when I'm battling, the people in the crowd are not necessarily already inclined to listen to what I have to say. So I got to do it in an entertaining way, but I still got to be true to myself. So yeah, I think it is different, but at the same time, I'm always doing this anyway.
Your last battle with Jims, right? When he did the T-shirt thing, what was going through your mind?
Yeah. So I saw that, and you know what's so funny? So I saw him like about a couple hours before the event. We walked outside the hotel.
Did you see the T-shirt?
I didn't see the T-shirt. Okay. But what was weird though is that he had this big jacket on and was zipped all the way up. Jims is a very, very, very he's very conscious about what he wears.
Sure.
The jacket didn't even go with the outfit, and I was just like, why does he have the jacket on? So he's always about, looking nice, looking fresh. I got money and stuff like that. So it did cross my mind. I was like, man, I wonder what he has under that.
What's cooking?
I wonder what, is he gonna come out with a robe, a pastoral robe? So I didn't know what it was.
That would have been funny.
But when we got to the event and we're battling and he opens up the shirt, and I heard him say what he said and then I read it. I mean, I saw it, but it really wasn't. I mean, I knew the crowd, that crowd,
sure,
like in Toronto,
sure,
they were gonna react to it. If it was anywhere else, it would have just been like, all right, bro, so what? What are you gonna do with the shirt? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, it crossed my mind a little bit. I try not to allow things like that to upset me at the moment. I try to keep tunnel vision. But nonetheless, though, I mean, it was what it was.
I was gonna say, one of the things that all of you guys, you, Saga, A-Ward, Street Hymns, like to keep your focus when things like that are going on, because a lot of people are easily rattled just in real life.
Yeah.
When someone disrespects you, disrespects your faith, whatever, how are you able to keep that laser focus?
Yeah, so I think all of us though at the same time, I mean, you catch us outside, I mean, things are going to get us rattled.
Sure.
There, it's twofold. It's a business side, but then it's also a spiritual side. So on the business side, obviously, we sign contracts before we go up there. So I know that nothing can pop off outside of words. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, physically, we won't either get our other half of our deposit, you know what I'm saying? We won't get paid. Or the event gets shut down and we ruin a good opportunity. And we do love the culture. On the flip side of that, though, I do think that for me, I understand, like, man, I notice the battle rap, but two, I'm here for a bigger purpose, you know what I'm saying? And they're looking for a reason for one of us to go ahead and snap and say, aha, I knew you really weren't, you weren't a Christian and stuff like that. So if we keep that in mind that, hey, we're representing not just us, but, like other people that are supporting us. And then ultimately, I'm trying to make a testament for what the Lord has done in my life. I keep that to a minimum. I just stay, like if you watch me, I try not to even like pay them too much mind. There may be times, where I kind of like mush their hand out the way, like, hey, don't touch me. But I keep my face straight and I'm just thinking about, all right, cool, let me just get out of this round. And then when it's my turn to talk, I'm gonna bark on you just the way you were barking on me. So,
do you prefer to go first or second?
It really depends. So
depends on the matchup?
It depends on the matchup. So there might be times where, I probably already have written things and I think I've already pre-rebutted a lot what he has to say. So I want him to kind of go first. So you could kind of do exactly what I'm about to say that you always do. But there might be times where I do go first. So my last battle, actually I had a battle after Jims. I just battled in New York and I chose to go first because I just wanted to set the tone. And I knew what I had in my first round was going to set the tone for everyone in the room, and they were gonna look at my opponent like, hey, you better match that. And if you didn't, all the momentum's on my side. So it really depends on the matchup. It really depends on what I've already prepared. But no matter what I choose, it doesn't really matter. Like I'm always confident with with the material I have. So yeah, it really depends on who I'm battling.
That's good. Let me go all the way back, like even before you got into battle rap and just your foray into music.
Yeah.
And just even being a Christian. How did you get saved?
Yeah, so for me, Man, I didn't grow up in the church, but my mother, around the time when I was 14, had just became a Christian, and she started just dragging us to church. We was living under her roof, so we was going to church, and so she was taking us every single Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday was choir practice, and then Sunday, you know what I'm saying, was service. And so we were there all the time. And then the pastor at the church, he was kind of like a father. Like, he had bought me my first car, but the gospel still hasn't resonated to me. So I was just around it because I was feeling loved amongst these people, and it was just cool. Like, I started going.
The pastor bought you a car?
Yeah, it wasn't. No, he didn't buy me like a Jeep or anything. It was a '91 Dodge Spirit, and I think he's probably spent like $300 on it. But it was a thought that counts. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So he did get the vehicle. He helped fix it up for me. But nonetheless, man, like it was that type of community. Like, it was real family oriented. And so I was always at the church, and like the youth pastor, I remember he was he put me on a DC talk, and then there was another guy at the church. He gave me an ambassador a thesis album. And so for me at this time, I was getting introduced to Christianese, you know what I'm saying? But I still have not at this time really like understood the gospel, nor did I really care about my sin or what Christ did. So
were you doing music?
I wasn't doing anything. Nah, and prior to me being converted, I didn't even pick up a pen and write.
Wow.
I've never wrote
so
a
no
lyric.
Poetry, nothing.
Nah, nothing, bro. And so what happened was I was home one day, and I was just on the internet minding my business, and I end up clicking on a video I just saw, and it was a dark video. There was no pictures, bro, on YouTube, but it had audio, and it had this like crazy music in the background, and it was Paul Washer giving his sermon jam, and I was like, bro, what is this? And like for 10 minutes, bro, he was just talking about the holiness of God. And I still remember to this day, I remember going to my room, grabbing all my Nas and Jay-Z CDs and throwing them in the trash. I was weeping. My mom was like, she was cooking. She was like, I was like, man, this is, I'm ready, ma. You know what I'm saying? And so this is what I was thinking at the time, what conversion was. But I do remember that for the first time, I started understanding about the cross.
Yeah.
I started understanding about who I was as a sinner. And so I remember going to church, and I still was looking for answers. But my next problem was I didn't have anybody that looked like me. I had nobody who talked like me, who understood where I came from. And so I looked online, and I found out that Flame was coming to St. Petersburg. So I went to the St. Petersburg concert, and I went by myself. And I remember looking around, and not to offend anybody, but prior to this, I did not see African American men who were really about Jesus. Yeah. I saw Hispanic because I was around this Pentecostal church that was only Hispanic people there. So when I'm going there, I'm looking to my right, and I see all these dudes who later down the line it would be HGA, but these dudes were at the side, and they it was 2 or 3 dudes. They would just jump in. They knew every lyric to the Flame song, and for me, that was like, they must be Christians. And so I was rapping it, And so after the show, I said, man, I got to meet those dudes. Yeah. And so I went. And I remember them looking at me, but so I went, and I was talking to Flame for a little bit, and so I went and I tried to look for them, and they were gone. And so I went back to work the next day, and I remember getting a message from this one guy named Cato, and he was like, yo, man, I saw you at the concert. I don't know how he found me, but he said, I saw you at the concert, bro. Let's link up. I said, I bet. So we met up like the next day, and he said, yo, I want to bring you to some of my friends. I said, all right, cool. This is like 2007. Okay. This is like end of 2007, top of 2008, and we walk in, and I walk into the apartment, and it's KB and Second Chance. And so we're just sitting there, and they got a Bible in their hand, and I had a Bible in mine, and the rest was history, bro. You know what I'm saying? And so from there, we just started discipling each other and being around mission-minded people, and so it grew into something dope at the time. And so that was really my walk. And from there, I was introduced to John Piper and Spurgeon. And so my story has been one. And then obviously I end up getting another home church, and so where I'm currently at. And so it's been rough, it's been beautiful, but that brotherhood that I end up getting early on, I tell everybody it helped save my life.
That was the foundation.
Yeah.
When did you get into poetry?
So
like when did all of that?
Yeah, so right after that, I still hadn't rapped. Or like KB and Second Chance, they used to ask me, "Hey, do a verse here," just because we was close. But what ended up happening was there was this pastor, and he was going through the Minor Prophets, and he was like, "Yo, man, I need somebody." He had asked KB, and KB was just too busy at the time. He's like, "Yo, do you think you could write a verse on the Book of Hosea for me?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'll try." So I went and I wrote one. And the people in the community were shocked, bro. They loved it. So somebody was in the room and they took it on a BlackBerry phone, bro. They recorded it on a BlackBerry phone, uploaded it up to YouTube, and then I remember on Twitter all of a sudden somebody put it on YouTube, and one night it's like 2 a.m. and I get tweeted by Thizzle, and Thizzle's like, "Yo, this is crazy." Alex Medina was like, "Yo, this is crazy. Watch this." Like everybody was telling, and I was like, "Yo, what is happening right now?" And so I started doing that. I started doing poetry, and then this is around the time that I don't know if you remember Jefferson Bethke or something.
Oh yeah.
He goes viral,
Went
right?
viral
He goes
with the
viral.
joint. Yep.
He contacts me, and he does this interview and was like, "Yo, one of my favorite poets is Loso," and I wasn't even a poet, you know what I'm saying? But he was just like, "It's Carlos." That's what he said.
Yeah.
Los HGA, and then Jackie Hill had said something. And so I started doing a little poetry, but people were looking at my mannerisms and the way I was doing it and was like, "Yo, like you should battle rap." And I was hearing it then, but I didn't really entertain it. And so, I dipped into music after that. So
that's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't know that poetry piece.
Yeah, man. That's how I popped off.
I feel like I need to go look up some of your poetry now.
Yeah. There's some stuff up there. Yes, I got one on Hell that did really well. I did one on the Cross of Christ. Same thing. So.
Which do you love more between your poetry, battle rap, and just making music?
Poetry is definitely at the bottom of the list. Not because I dislike it, but I just don't do it anymore. And I really have to be in the mood. Music and battle rap are probably even, and it's for two different reasons. One, battle rap, like the fruit that I get to see from it, man, and also the success. And I love it too. I love the competition, even though it drains me mentally, physically, and even spiritually. Nonetheless, at the end, like it's always dope. But music wise, like there's something about just getting in your creative space, and I love music personally. So sonically creating something that I could say like this is mine is always dope. So I put those right on par, and for different reasons though. One season it may be battle rap, one season it may be music. So
do you like? I've always felt like there's this. I don't even know the right word to say it, but I always felt it's been difficult for most battle rappers to make the transition to making amazing music.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Really, and if I'm honest, I think it's actually the perception that's already out there. So because people already have that stigma about battle rappers, you can make a dope record and they're still they're still gonna be like, he's a battle rapper, so it can't be that good. And so you're like, man, bro, like I got this behind it, I got this, you know what I'm saying? Like, what more do you want? And so now I do think that battle rappers, because we spend so much energy in being lyrically amazing during a battle, that we try to go ahead and keep that same energy and put it on a track. One thing that I definitely try to take a healthy pride in, and my boy Double has said it to me one day. I remember I performed at City Takers. He came up to me and says, "Yo, if I would have listened to your music, I would never know that you battle rap." Because I'm up there and I'm doing songs, you know what I'm saying? Songs that not necessarily bar heavy, although you might hear some punchlines and metaphors in there. But I want the lyrics to kind of just, complement what the song is already saying. And so I do know that the audience and the masses already have this perception like, man, battle rappers, they just do one thing and they can't make great records. Well, I want to go ahead and flip that on its head. And I think I've made great records. Obviously for me, I know the most traffic I get is when a battle drops. But what I do, I take advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? So I just dropped my last project.
Yeah, you always promote your music.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Battles,
Boom.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I like, and I'm constantly touring. You know what I'm saying? I'm constantly doing a show every single weekend. I'm somewhere, and I make sure that I'm doing music. But my battle. So whether or not my battle rap kicks me in the door, I want you to know, like, hey, I'm an artist, and you're gonna see me. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see my music videos, and so that was the mindset that I have. So I want to kill that perception. I think the perception is dying down, but nonetheless, though, it is what it is. So you just gotta, fight through it.
Are you, Saga, A-Ward, and Street Him still talking about doing the battle rap tour?
Yeah, man. We we have a group chat, and so we're always talking about that, and that's we want to do what Poets in Autumn?
Poets in Autumn, yeah.
What Poets in Autumn do, and so like I've told plenty of people, what we kind of want to bring is they always asking, hey, when we gonna hear Saga versus Loso? When the A-Ward gonna battle Street Him? Well, you know what? You come to the store and you could get that. You get 2-on-2s also. But what we want to do is going to be a couple of things. We want to do like a panel discussion. Ask us any questions, and then we're going to perform music, and then we're going to battle. But obviously no cameras, right? You can only get this in your city if we bring this to your city. And we want to promote it because we do think that all four of us are different. We think all four of us I tell everybody, those three dudes push my pen more than anybody else, and I think that they are just as important in this culture, in the hip hop culture, as a Lecrae is in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like
totally agree.
Yeah, and obviously people might not see it that way just because obviously the followers may not add up or this, but the impact. Like I'm trying to tell people, like we're basically, you got to think about it. There's no blueprint for us. That's before. It's like, hey, if you're gonna be a Christian battle rapper, this is what you have to do. We're really just doing it, and we're learning as we go. But thank God we're walking with each other. I
was gonna say, like, how helpful has it been?
Super
that
helpful.
Y'all are all
super helpful.
Kind of doing this all at the same time.
Yeah. So Saga probably came like a year or so, a year change before us, and then Street Hymns was second, and then me and A-Ward literally came months apart from each other. But with all of us kind of doing so well at the same time, like you hear one of our names, you gotta hear the other one. And what the dope thing about it is that we're proud of each other. It's never a time where I'm like, man, A-Ward got this battle coming up, man, that should have been me. Or Saga's on URL, man, that should be like I'm legit happy for them, and I'm rooting for them. And if I could, I'll be at every battle behind them. Vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So we help each other out. Hey, I wrote these lines, which I think about it. Loso, I think you could do this better. Or Saga, take this apart. So it's been helpful from that aspect, but it's also been helpful just spiritually, man. There's times where Saga may be going through something, and he's writing in the group chat, hey, pray for me, and it's not even battle rap related.
Sure.
Because that's the type of friendship we're trying to cultivate. If it's organic, outside of battle rap, it's gonna be real when you see us on stage. And so, like I tell everybody, back to the premise of what I'm saying, is like these dudes, I think they're just as important pioneers for the hip hop culture as the Lecraes, as the Andy Mineos, who's out there right now. And so, nonetheless, I know people are still, they may not know who we are, and even in the body, even in the church, they might not know who we are, but as people come alongside and start supporting and start seeing what we're doing, I think that everybody will kind of agree, like, yo, the Lord does have their hand upon what they're doing, and it's dope to see. So,
what other Christian rappers do you think would make good battle rappers?
Rappers that I think would make good battle rappers. And so I would say this. It'll be difficult because the transition is never, I don't think it's so much as like bars. I think it's like writing and like structuring like cadences and like, aggressiveness and like just battle rapping, right? But if we're just talking about like rappers who I think can really write, right? I think Shaolin will be up at top.
Think so?
They may disagree with me, but I think Shy would be at top. On top of that, I think.
Why you think Shy?
Well, one, if you hear his, that Sin versus where he battled Timothy Brindle, obviously the
throwback.
Christian won, but let's be honest,
Yeah.
Sin was. Like Shy was killing it, you know what I'm saying? But on top of that, I think his lyrical ability is second to none.
Yeah.
I really do think that. I think his lyrical ability is second to none. On top of that, I think KB, because he's so musically like inclined, like I think his punchlines get overlooked, and the way and his style that he raps, it's not like a 1 2 3 punchline, 1 2 3 punchline. He'll have a punchline here and there, but it's so creative. It's so creative, and I think that if he really sat down and the way his mind thinks, I think he can easily break apart somebody else. I think Ruslan from
absolutely.
I think he is he's just itching to get in there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, those would be my initial choices as far as like who would be dope to see in the ring.
Okay, so what do you think about the Shaolin Ruslan Hazakim, that whole situation?
Yeah, so
and I'm gonna ask you about my tweet too.
Okay. But did we tweeted each other? You tweeted me, right? Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, okay. We're gonna get on that then. So I think that initially, so the initial like effect was Shailin's call out on Reach Records, sure. Right? I think it was okay. I think there was nothing wrong with it. I don't think he stepped outside of any Christian principle.
Why do you think it was okay?
Because of the third reason I said. I don't think he stepped outside of Christian principle. I don't think there was anything. And I think that he has went on record, and I've also spoke to Reach Record artists where he has communicated with the majority of them, and even Lecrae, especially Lecrae, right? Because that's the main one that he was kind of talking to. He has communicated behind closed doors, and so publicly, when someone makes a public stance, when the public is involved, I think a public response is okay if it's done in a respectful manner, and I think Shy did that.
So you thought he was respectful?
Yeah, I definitely do think that Shy was respectful. And even going through his, I don't think that he ever said anything. I think he was attacking a worldview. He was attacking a methodology. That's what it was. Like, I'm attacking this methodology because I do not think that it's in step. Now, whether he was wrong about biblically, like scripturally, you're wrong, Shaolin, because you can do this, right? If that's the argument, that's a different argument. But as far as how he went about it, I don't think that he did anything outside of Christian principles. Now, let's move on, right? Ruslan then comes and then responds to Shy. I understand what Ruslan was doing, and even it was clever in a metaphorical way of how he was doing, because he ended the song with, "You see how you can come off?" Like, he almost was like, "Look, I'm gonna diss you this whole time," and then this. However, though, some of the things, bro, like, if I just want to make you feel bad, I was like, "Oh, you just call that person ugly? Well, did you know you were fat?" And then you kind of like, "Dang." Oh no, I just wanted you to see how he felt. And then you kind of like, dang, but do you really think I'm fat? You know what I'm saying? And then there was a couple of things I think Ruslan said in that song about Shy, where it was like, do you really think he's this bitter old man? Do you really think he's just like, a dog just barking at every car that's passing by? Like, and so he wasn't attacking the methodology like Shy was doing. If he just wanted to defend Lecrae, that would have been totally fine. But I felt he was taking personal jabs. Yeah, and then Hazakim, they did the same thing.
Do you think the fact that he said his name, he said Shy's name on the record? Because I've heard a lot of artists, like, I'm not a rapper, so I don't, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people have just said, yo, if you say my name on a record, that's a problem in and of itself.
Nah, I mean, even if he did or he did not, I think
you don't think that matters? Nah.
I mean, maybe to some people, you know what I'm saying? And like, I've said other rappers' names. I had a line, I only trust in the Lord and I lean on his hand because the book of John gives what a dream junkie can't. So, like, all of y'all trusting in these dudes, like, y'all getting upset because they not living a certain way, right? Well, I'm in the book of, the book of John gives what a dream, like, this has life, like, put your trust in here. But they would hear it, right? The dream junkies and John gives would be like, dang, Loso, you name drop, like, what are you saying? You agreeing with them? Obviously, I would have to give, context behind it, but they might feel a different way. I wouldn't necessarily feel that way. I would have to listen to the whole thing. But the fact that he did say Shy's name and the fact that he was going in on Shy the whole time, and in the manner he was doing it, I wasn't, I didn't get down. Even when I heard Ruslan's response, and then we're in a big like Christian hip hop group chat, and he was in there and he was defending himself too. But at the end of the day, I mean, and I'll tell him to his face too. I think that the way he kind of went at Shy. Now, I have to be consistent though, all right? Because Hazakim came and defended Shy. I think Hazakim was just as wrong. They did the same thing, bro. But you know what's so crazy? They wanted to though.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, you want to do it? So let me bring it back to everybody when you were in the tunnel rats or something like that, and started like dropping dirt. And so I was like, man. And so I'll say this: the whole thing was messy, bro. It was messy. I thought it lost the original intent of Shy wanting to. And now this is the thing, bro. I do understand why it was why people couldn't necessarily receive it from Shy. The dude was dropping the album, so it looked like a 50 Cent tactic. But this is the thing, though. It will only be a 50 Cent tactic if that was the only song, and then every other song had nothing to do with what he was talking about. The concept of the album was still Jesus.
Was still Jesus.
It's still Jesus, and he wanted to show like, look, for those of you, for Lecrae, we don't think that you're still Jesus as far as not that you're not a Christian, but as far as your content, right? You took away the original meaning of 116 from your website. You're doing you're making songs about blessings with unbelievers, you know, all these different things, and so Shy's album was consistent with the theme, and so when he puts that song out, it flows, and he's talking about a big issue that's happening in the culture. So I think that was okay with the way he did it. I don't think it was, but I do understand why people look at it and say like, man, we can't respect that shot. You just trying to make CDs.
That also wasn't the first song he released from the album either.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was
Ichabod first, right?
Nah, he had the song with Beautiful Eulogy, Supreme.
Oh, that's right. That was the first
song.
And then Ichabod was the one about Craig.
Supreme was first. No, the intro song was second. Then Ichabod. Then Ichabod.
Look at that.
So,
now you did an interview with him before the song released?
So, yes.
And did you hear the song?
Yes, I heard the whole album. I heard the whole album at that point.
You should have prepared us, bro.
I heard the whole album at that point. I heard the whole album. Well,
what was your initial thought? Why am I interviewing Wado? But what was your initial thought?
That's a good question, though. So, he contacted me. We had never done an interview before. I've been trying to interview him for 10 years. Mm-hmm. Like, he said, hey, I got a new album out. He's like, I want to do some press. He's like, I really want to talk to you about it, out of everybody. I was like, word, like, let's do it. He's like, yo, I can come to New York. Cool. So we set that up. He sends me the album after he sets it up. So I'm listening to it. That's the first song on the album. I was like, this is a problem right here. Like, that was my first thought. Like, he's really talking about this. Mm-hmm. Like, this is a thing. So, I hear that. Then Ichabod is like track 7 on the album.
Random Thoughts. That's what he.
Random Thoughts. Yes. Random Thoughts 3.
Diss track. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Ichabod was just another single he put out.
Yeah. Random Thoughts. That was the one where he mentions Trip, the conversation with Trip. Ichabod is the song where he's basically like, Christian hip hop needs to repent.
Yeah.
Mind you, the whole time he never says Lecrae's name on any of these songs, right? So by the time we sit down to do the interview, he had kind of communicated to me already what he wanted to talk about. Mm-hmm. So he already, he had a game plan for what he wanted to do. So all that stuff that we hit in the interview, even about the black family, his church, those are all things that he wanted to talk about in the interview. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't, I think for him, man, his campaign was a little bit bigger than just that at the time. But yeah, man, I felt like it was a conversation that needed to be had simply because he represented the viewpoint that a lot of people had. And he raised a lot of questions and concerns that a lot of people had. And so I thought it was, look, second part is Shy's an OG, man.
OG.
In my opinion, he's earned the right to even have the conversation, particularly with all the other and private dialogue that's taking place. So, yeah. So I think, memory serves me correct, the interview came out the same day as Random Thoughts. Mm-hmm. I didn't know they were dropping Random Thoughts. We did the interview on a Thursday, maybe, and we put it out that Monday in the morning. And Random Thoughts came out like noon that same day. So some people had saw the interview. Probably 1,000 people or so saw the interview before the song came out. Then the song came out. So then you had some people that heard the song. And then on YouTube, it was in the thing and went and listened to the interview right after the song. Then you had some people, quite frankly, heard Ruslan's song first.
Yeah.
Then went backwards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it's a lot of stuff, but yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. So, I wanted to ask you this. We had tweeted each other around the time that this happened, and I said, yo, because there was a lot of dialogue in the community, people had mixed thoughts about this.
Yeah.
Some people thought it was great what Ruslan did. Some people thought it was great what Hakeem did. Some people were upset at Shy. Some people were upset at Ruslan. Some people were upset at Hakeem. And I said, we enjoy all of our favorite Christian rappers when they go and battle, and they battle in the world. I said, but we have mixed feelings about this. Why, for the most part, right? Yeah. Because, and I get it. There's light versus dark, Christian versus non-Christian. These are two Christians. But at the same time, how many times has everybody been trying to get you to battle Saga?
All the time.
Exactly.
Since we jumped in.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm just like what's going on here?
Yeah. I think obviously the light versus dark thing, and every dude that battle raps, obviously we all are agreeing, right? We would never battle each other like that. I do think though that there is some I do agree with what a lot of people are saying as far as Saga, Loso, A-Ward, and Street Hymns are in a sport.
Sure.
Like whether or not we wanna call it that.
No, it's a sport.
Yeah, it's a sport. Like there's time limits, there's rules. You can't do this. You gotta do this. There's a crowd. People pay to come watch. You know what I'm saying?
There's contracts.
There's contracts. You know what I'm saying? Like we're contractually obligated to do certain things. So it is different. It's a lot different than me just getting on a record and venting on why I dislike you right now.
Yeah. One of you guys replied to me, and I'm sorry if I can't remember. It was either you or Saga, I think, that said it was the same as if someone just walked up to you on the street and just stole on you and started a street brawl. Yeah. I thought that was a good analogy.
The diss record. As far as
diss record.
Yeah.
So the diss record is like that.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Cray and them had no they did not think that Shy was gonna go ahead and have this on his album. I'm pretty sure.
I think they knew.
Oh, they knew that was coming.
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I know Shy had shared the lyrics with them. They knew, bro. I think they knew.
Bro, let me say this. And you telling me that though?
I'm almost positive they knew.
You telling me that?
I'm almost positive they knew.
Even I think it justifies Shy's initial track even more.
Yeah,
now with Ruslan and Hakeem, those were
brawl, right?
And that was Mayweather on Victor Ortiz, like, hey, boom, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, it is what it is, bro. But yeah, what we do, there's some people, I mean, forget the diss records. There's some people who do think that we're wrong for what we do. Nonetheless, though, I mean, somebody as conservative as Shy, like he's constantly letting us know how much he supports. Like, he'll even, he'll text me and say, man, I'm watching this battle, bro, and or he's like, hey, you should say this next time. But yeah, he's definitely a proud supporter of it. So
yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest battle rap fan.
Yeah,
personally. But I got the highest respect for what y'all do, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I think to be able to go into the places that you go into with a clear intent of sharing the gospel with people, and doing it in a skillful way, and just having that dialogue, like, I don't see how people say it's wrong.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. I mean, obviously,
I don't get the criticism.
Yeah. I think they just hate the
competitive part of it, though.
They hate the competitive. They hate the atmosphere that we're in. They don't, obviously they don't feel like we should be in that atmosphere. And then two, I think even the way that sometimes,
I think it's one thing if you was in there smoking weed. It's
yeah,
like if you
exactly.
Was,
Yeah. And all of us. I mean, but it's so dope though because even the league owners and the other battlers, they'll be like, these dudes, like these dudes are the real deal. Whether or not I agree with what they believe is in the real. Sure. They at least, kind of step in line with that. So, yeah, man, we obviously but the love outweighs the hate.
Sure.
The love outweighs the confusion. You know what I'm saying? That people may not understand. The love definitely outweighs that, man.
So let me, last question, bro. If you could fast forward 5 years from now, with all aspects of what you got going on right now, your battle rapping, your music, you know what I mean? I know you've gone to seminary. Like, where would Loso be? And, you know, recently married, so you made maybe some children sliding in there, you know.
I'm working on that.
Okay, all right.
So
he said he came out the gate swinging.
Yeah. We definitely, she's in college, so
sure.
You know we're waiting. But I think that 5 years from now, I want to have laid a foundation already. Loso has has stamped himself within battle rap culture history, which I think is possible within next year. And even with CHH, like I told you, the dudes that I'm linked with, and I'm so glad that the Lord has elevated us at the same time. I think that we would probably be seen as pioneers in a certain, because there's gonna be dudes who come after us. You know what I'm saying? And I can't wait for that. Can't wait to kind of just pass the torch and say, hey, let me help you now. Let me show you what to do.
Be like a coach.
Yeah, but 5 years from now, all of that would be dope. So I'm not even necessarily looking for those accolades. I think that'll be something. Me definitely being just the primary thing that I want, bro, is just me to still and I hope nobody takes this the wrong way, but I just know how fragile relationships are. Me to still be married by the grace of God, right? Me still loving my wife, having kids, loving my kids, and me being a faithful member of a local church, you know what I'm saying, of the local church that I'm at. So I think if all those things can be in place, everything else was a success. So whether or not, you know, I'm still participating, I think I will be, because I love it. And if I'm not, that's cool. But if I still am, I wanted to, you know, kind of keep the same campaign that I came and started. You know what I'm saying? Before I was rapping, when I was just a hype man for KB, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to still be the same thing. Loso is still up there. He still cares about what the Bible says in its correct context. He still cares about helping people and reaching people. And we're doing this together, you know what I'm saying? We're supporting each other. So nonetheless, man, in 5 years, let that be the statement, man. Even if I don't, you know, hang my jersey on the top of the rafters. So
you'll get it retired, bro.
Yeah,
I believe it. Bless you, bro.
Thank you, man. This has definitely been one of my bucket list things, bro. So thank you, man. Thank you for everything you do.
It's been years in the making, bro.
Yeah, definitely, bro.
I'm glad we got to do it in person, though.
Of course, yeah, of course.
That's what it is.
Everybody lends an ear. I wanna thank you in advance for letting us make it clear to y'all on the Wade Radio Show.
Thanks for tuning in to another Wade Radio full interview. This was made possible in part by our affiliate, Covenant Eyes. The internet can be a dangerous place for unguarded eyes and hearts. Covenant Eyes provides the services that protect against the evils and temptations that can be found on the World Wide Web. Established over a decade ago, Covenant Eyes is the pioneer in internet accountability software, empowering its members to maintain their online integrity. I personally use them on every device that I have: computer, iPhone, iPad, whole 9 yards. Don't go another day without guarding your eyes, your mind, and your heart. Visit wadoradio.com/resources for more information about Covenant Eyes. And if you sign up via our affiliate link at wadoradio.com/resources, we'll give you a month free. Covenant Eyes, trusted by thousands of families, including mine. This interview is brought to you by our sponsor, Devin Turner. This MC and pastor is not only putting out great music, but he's doing phenomenal work in his community and abroad. Check out his new album, Luminary, available on all digital outlets. For more info, visit his website at devinturner.org.
Thank you for downloading the Wade Radio podcast. If you love what you're hearing, leave a review on iTunes. We'd love to hear your feedback, and it helps expose others to the show. Thank you, and God bless.